Earlier on matters raging floods and the situation on the ground, where they hosted, that is Dagoretti North Member of Parliament, Beatrice Elachi. Listen in.
Elachi is our guest. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? We're good. We are holding in.
Under the circumstances?
Yes.
Your constituent here,
Yeah.
at least is fine.
He's dry.
At least he's dry.
This morning.
He's one of those who are dry. I'm sure there are many of your constituents who would not say the same thing.
Oh, yes.
And we'd like to hear about it this morning. You know, we'd like to know what's happening.
Judges.
Yeah? Ni kubaya bwana.
Walikipata-pata.
Ni kubaya. Anyway, Siti,
Yes.
why don't you welcome your MP with the day's proverb?
Today we have a proverb with this. The proverb is just the multi-sectoral. That should be the proverb.
Multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder, agency,
You have another
task
one.
force. Siti, where are the proverbs from this week?
From the country of Algeria.
Algeria.
Algeria, yes.
You said you'll tell us something or two about this country. The capital?
It's Algiers.
The president?
No, let's talk about
Yeah.
the sort of political system they have and the parliamentary system they have.
Okay.
Because this is always interesting.
Okay.
It's called a semi-constitutional parliamentary system.
Semi-constitutional.
Well, semi-parliamentary, I said, not constitutional. Well,
You said semi-constitutional
Just
parliamentary
confirm it.
system. What did you say?
if I said constitutional, I said it, but I didn't mean it.
Oh, so it's a semi? It's a constitutional
whenever
semi.
you hear semi, okay, it means they have a president. I will look at the pattern this morning. Yeah? They have a prime minister, okay, they have even a vice president, then they have an upper and a lower house.
Do they have a king?
Algeria, no. Long ago they had. Those Northern African countries had kings.
Yeah.
Right now, I think there's only one country in Northern Africa that has a king. Okay, that's Morocco.
Morocco.
Yes, but the other ones, they are still tinkering with democracy.
Okay.
So they have all these bodies. Now, the interesting thing is that it has a population of 45 million people. Okay, its landmass is also one of the biggest on this particular continent. But the thing about Algeria is, like most of those Northern African countries, democracy isn't working very well. It's working, but it's something that is seriously a work in progress. Now, I will give more details later. And when I do, I'll mention the name of the president
Okay.
and a former president, and I'll explain why it is I've said what I've said.
Okay.
Okay, now the proverb. May I proceed to the proverb?
Please.
Thank you so much. Cross the river, but don't cross the silent one.
Cross the river, but don't cross the silent one.
Tafadhali.
Mheshimiwa,
Yes.
what's your interpretation of this proverb?
Well, my interpretation, City, will be we just play around with KK, but let us remember they have so many silent things that are not going on well. Don't go that side, or else you'll find yourself into another situation that you have never imagined, which we are in now. That's how I've brought the proverb home, City.
KK is Kenya Kwanza.
Oh, yes.
So look at Kenya Kwanza. Don't
Yes.
cross where the Kenya
Don't
Kwanza
get
is.
inside.
is
Don't
square.
go deep. Don't go deep, because you won't come out and you won't be able to do anything for the country. That's all I would say.
Uwe. Sawa.
Sawa tu.
Message lands.
Interpretation is good.
Very good. Very good one. There's a crisis in the country.
Yes.
In your constituency, what's the situation like?
In my constituency, since the rain started beating us, in the beginning, first we had the worst because the county had not collected garbage for quite some time. And this is garbage coming from the Greater South, and then they have a holding ground. And so when the rain came, all that garbage was washed by rain. It ended up in all the drainages, ended up now going downstream. And that is how all the townhouses were affected, because after the garbage blocked all those drainages, there was nothing left but water now to flow back. And so you find we lost Chalby Drive, a whole of 18 townhouses. Their walls went down, their whole sitting room, all their cars pushed right down to the riparian land. And on the upstream, all the homes there, the Sudanese embassy, everywhere, we had all over garbage inside their compounds. Dogs, cats that were swept away. And for me, I think where I felt very disappointed and is where you call the county 5 days, not for anything else, because you can see it's a disaster. You need to coordinate yourselves together and support each other just to bring trucks so that we can collect the garbages that were in those compounds. And we did not have until we had to pay for our own trucks to carry all that garbage. I think that is where now we realized the county is not prepared, because that was just in the beginning. So even now, as we come to this...
When you say in the beginning, how long ago are we talking about?
We are talking when the month now started of April. You remember the first rain that hit us on a Sunday? That is when we had the first damage in Dagoretti North. That's when we lost a woman. Thank God we were able to retrieve her. And then going forward now is when now we realized we need, and I think I have been one honorable member who calls in, who even looks at the sub-county, and we sit and we agree. But on this one, they were unable. And that is one thing now, if Dagoretti North then was like that, and you can imagine now we have tried our best ourselves to sort out many things with neighbors now. We come out with neighbors, we look at where the problem is, we ask ourselves, what is the solution? When the solution is for the county, we get stuck. Like yesterday night, it was very unfortunate. There are townhouses that, at a place where you can't find water. But yesterday, water just came into all those townhouses. Reasons, we have gone there twice with the county and told them, these guys who are building here, this construction here, has come in, yes, but they sort of distorted the drainage from upstream. So when you are coming down, all the waters now go back within the estate instead of going, and people have lived there 30 years, they have seen El Nino, they have seen all these things. But for the first time now, water into their houses. They can't believe.
Some have said, okay, I'll come to the some have said later. Just want to come back into this. There were heaps of uncollected garbage as the rains were starting.
Yes.
What does this mean? Because we know and we remember very well that the county government had launched this initiative to have garbage collected, drainages unclogged months before. In fact, last year, as we were preparing for the El Nino, there were people who were hired per sub-county to deal with these matters of environment. They're called the Green Army of the county.
Yes.
I'm sure you have contacts with the ward admins in your constituency and the sub-county administrators.
Yes.
Are you saying that they had not had this job done?
No.
By April?
Yes, they had not had this job done. And you can have your Green Army. But you see, when you realize it's becoming overwhelming and you never trained them, you just told them, go and open drainages. Our young people, they're thinking, you just go, you take your spade, your wheelbarrow, you're opening. In fact, not even a wheelbarrow. So you have a spade. All what you have removed, you put it on top here. And you're expecting the county will come, I don't know at what time, to start collecting again to put on the truck. So they don't collect, they leave it there. So when the rain comes, what does it do? It brings it back in. And that is where their challenge is. So there's no cleaning you did. There's no drainage you open. They did their bit, you never did your bit. Then the other thing is, there are those culverts that are just too long. There's one even right now, I am very worried at Lavington. It's a very long one. And so it has come, everything, garbage has now blocked. You need a very long, I don't know wire or something, to unlock it to the other side, or else you'll have to open this whole thing and start reconstruction again. So Do we have any green army who understands that? No. We need now the guy who was employed with expertise for plumbing or something to come and help to open such an opening. And then the whole thing, those caveats are so small. I remember even calling the one just for Chalbi Drive. I even called Kura. I told them, look, we need to reopen and put in a sizable based on the water that is coming through. From that time to date, they have never.
What's the issue, Mheshimiwa, with the response from the county? Because, I mean, this has all started from the very beginning. You talked about the first rains in April and calls for... Before that, there was non-pickup of garbage. Why? Are you aware?
You see, you'll be told the garbage collectors have not been paid. They have striked. But then now you tell them, why can't we change the system? Because in the other areas, garbage is being collected. What is wrong with this garbage not being collected the way this other one is being collected? Yet people pay. Not that people in Kawangware do not pay for the garbage. They pay. They pay 200. You just need a truck that can come either on Thursday, collect that garbage and take it where it's supposed to go, if it's Dandora or wherever. But no, they decided to do 2 collection points in Dagoretti North. These collection points brings in garbage from other constituencies. So I told them, why can't then each constituency have a collection point so that you minimize this garbage? It has been, I know it's been a tall order because I have pushed, we have quarreled. In fact, right now I'm telling them we must close one or else we are going to have diseases very soon, because even now the heap is still there. And it has brought in, I remember even KTN airing all that, where we had now garbage that had reached an humongous, until now it's just pigs running on top of it. And you're wondering, the same pigs people are going to eat is the same. That is why diseases will just be there, because as I buy this meat, do I even remember how to clean it? No. Then the worst is with this rain, right now, there's rain, there's sewer, there's everything together. And the worst that we can do now is to imagine, where are people getting drinking water? Because Nairobi Water cannot tell me you will open the tap and get clean water for people.
In all this...
And all this is county again, because Nairobi Water is under county.
Where are the leaders? So we know at constituency level, you're there. And then you have several wards. How many wards are there in the Dagoretti North? 5. There are 5 wards. Kilimani, Kileleshwa,
Kabiru, Katina, and Kawangware.
The 5 wards, those are 5 MCAs who sit in the County Assembly of Nairobi.
Yes.
And then under the county executive, we've got the leadership, the sub-county admin, the ward admins, and so on, and then going all the way to the governor and the deputy. Where are all these leaders? Have you had conversations as leaders to say, these are the threats that we are facing as the rains come, and these are the proposed solutions that we can have?
The good thing with Dagoretti North, you see, with my MCAs, I think we work very closely. And like Robert Alai, we follow. We even go ourselves. If it's Kileleshwa ward, if it's Katina ward, we have Swaka. If it's Kabiro, yes, we work together. We are now left with our executive, which we don't know how to hammer, fight, so that we can understand each other. I mean, it's very frustrating. You see, I know I worked in the county, yes, and I know there are many challenges in the county. But then, I would say this, and it's very unfortunate. You see, when you bring in a team, and it's something, I'm sorry to say, Kenya Kwanza appreciates to do things that way, which is very unfortunate, where you decide you don't want expertise. You just want people. They must be loyal, maybe. I don't know. But you don't care what next, because the country doesn't go with loyalism. The country goes with people who have expertise to run the institution you have given them. And there's no way, the same way I'll tell the governor, the same way I normally tell His Excellency the President, you cannot be governor, CEC disaster, CEC finance. You can't. You can't.
Of course, there are CECs.
You have to bring in them, and they must have the understanding that they are the ones who are on the ground. Before you come, they have prepared the ground for you. But now if you come to prepare the ground so that they come, then you are, that institution is collapsing. And that is how things are collapsing, because governor has a team. I would say that team has let him down. And the buck stops with him. So we won't care about the team, because you selected your team. We will hit you, and hit you very hard without fear or favor, because we are saying very simple things. Yes, there is water, there is flood, it is flooding, fine. But the simple things of making sure this water goes where it's supposed to go is where we are asking you questions that, number one, when your people approve to an investor, go and invest, do they normally follow up to know the investor has closed your drainage, the investor has changed your drainage, has decided to distort it and put it, in fact, others have built on top of it, so you can't even see at one point, where is now this drainage, where is this sewer, because you have no person who follows up to ensure the planning you gave in is the planning that has been followed. Then now you come number two. Fine, you have agreed you want to see 42 floors, 25 floors, that is okay. 25 floors, where are they flowing? Where is this sewer flowing? In the same system that was there in 1972? It can't function. That is why you'll find yourself in all this mess we are in. In Nairobi, the mess we have is not God's mess. The mess we have is human mess.
It's a leadership mess.
Yes, where you have decided yourselves to put yourselves into this problem because of greed, because of money, because of not just following. You cannot come and remove this building. Why? Because we will change water, nature. Wangare told us you can't change it. It will come and look for its system. And that's where we are. And I'm hoping as we go into the hell we have gone in, going downstream, I would say, for us, if we remove the garbage and close one of those, we can survive. But now look at where the water is headed. It goes downstream. Enter Madare.
It affects all these people downstream.
I went to Madare, and that is where I said, no. First of all, have you ever wondered and asked, is this the real water? Is there somewhere there was a dam that busted and we don't know? Because that water of Madare is extraordinary water. I mean, you imagine they were asleep and you find water on your roof. Meaning, we don't even know how many people died in Madare. Because definitely, in that sleep, the children went, everything just went. And I did not even get to know. I mean, when you see the videos, you're asking yourself, where are the children? The children were swept, definitely. We are waiting until that water goes down, then we will know the damage. We don't know the damage.
This is why I bring in leadership, okay? So leadership, we know the government of the Nairobi City County comprises of two. There's the executive, there's the assembly. You've been head of the assembly, and you know then how the assembly is supposed to be checking the executive. All these things that we are saying, the governor may have appointed people who are not up to the task in the job at hand. They were approved by the assembly. The chief officers, the county executive committee members. They are they're actually constantly oversighted by the assembly. We don't hear the assembly talking about this mess.
You see, Eric, I will say this. This county has had, let me go now to the people who have been there for more than 30 years. Kidero found them, Sonko found them, and now you have found them. And it's a structure where you have never questioned any. I always look at each governor, They don't come in and question and say, okay, so you have worked for us for 30 years. Is there a way I can look for, because maybe you're about to retire, or some of them, by the way, are on retirement because the county has not been keeping their money, they have refused to go. They say you have to. So you have a planning person who has been there 45 years planning for Nairobi. But you can see the mess you are in, and he's still your planning guy. That's where you have to start questioning your structure. It's not even about these new ones you have brought in. These new ones come into an office. In that office, if it doesn't function, and you can't break it, and then they will tell you, wengi walitupata, hata wewe umetupata na utatuacha. Now that's where you wake up. It's a wake-up call. Because you come in and you ask yourself, how come all these people, the same problem we face, garbage, is the same, 10 years, 20 years, the same. Kidero tried. We came to remove him. But to be very honest, in a few things, Kidero tried garbage. Kidero tried collecting of revenue. And then he found himself in the mix of Nairobians, how they shikisha wewe handball vizuri, and they shikishat. These other ones, they come in, they don't stay a year, wameshikishwa handball. So you can't move, you can't breathe, you can't do anything. And that's the challenge of Nairobi. There's structure, deeper structure that is in the constituencies, in the wards, is a structure that has been there for quite a while. And they appreciate, I asked one day, why is it that in Matatu, in the transport sector, government has just decided it becomes very confusing like this? And I was told, Lachi, wacha hiyo story yako. If you want 300 million or even $1 billion in 4 hours, it is only in the transport sector that you just come and police decide, sasa ni kushika magari. You will make. I said, oh, that's why it has to have confusion. They said, yes. Bila confusion, huwezi pata hiyo pesa. So Nairobi, I think that's how we thrive. With confusion is when people make money. And when you remove the confusion, you become the bad one. But I think it is time, and I'm hoping with this rain, our governor will rethink. And number one, don't tell me again you'll see Mabati houses coming along the riparian land that Mishuki said, this is riparian land. He has to be thinking of dikes. He has to be thinking of how to close now Nairobi River properly and give it its width and let it be. And make sure those shanties do not come back there. I don't know whether he will be able to do that, but if I was him, this is the opportunity. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you saying basically is those politicians, all these who are in political office, from the governor to the MCAs, they get into a structure, and that structure is just too strong for them.
Yes, and we'll find the MCAs also who will tell you, I've been there since 1998. That one is now the worst person you should be with, because that one understands that city hall from the time it had mayors. And he was one of them who used to carry a chair and throw. Now you're with him here. He has no chair to throw, but he can throw in different ways because he's relative and relative and relative. You see, the other thing we have missed is completely, which I don't say don't employ your relatives, but I'm saying when they are there like 10 of them, you won't function because they go and gang up and you can't touch this one and you can't touch this one. So you'll find, and that is what